Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about the crystal and I'm going to be talking about my recommendations for what to use these crystals on. If you have been playing since the start of Unity Cup scenario, you would be close to getting both crystals. Currently on global, I believe you set at 19 gold fragments and then you will be at 17 for the rainbow one if you have finished the New Year's event. If you haven't yet, then do not worry, you should be able to complete this since we are currently on half TP cost and you could use the double TP, just get it very easily. It's not that difficult, which is of course nice. Anyways, on the Racing Carnival you would get 2 additional of fragments for the rainbow and the gold one, so that means that you will get a gold crystal. So on the 5th you will get a crystal if you have been playing since the start of Unity. And for the Valentine event there is going to be 3 fragments and you should be at 19 fragments on that time, so you will get another rainbow crystal. So these are just a time frame for those. Anyways, let's talk about the cards. I will get this quickly out of the way. So for Kita-san Black, Fan Motion and Super Creek, Kita-san Black is extremely good. She's going to be very good in Make a New Track scenario. Do not be fooled and think that just because she has 5% race bonus, that doesn't mean that she's going to be useless. In fact, her Professor of Curvature skill and also her strong training is going to be good for her in Make a New Track scenario. And Make a New Track scenario, while yes it focuses on racing, it doesn't force you to race every single turn. You need to train throughout it still. So Kita-san Black is going to be good. If you do not have her at maximum break, then go ahead, put the crystal on her. Then we have Fine Motion. There is going to be a rerun for Fine Motion. So I would say if you are going to be pulling on this banner, to hold off of your crystal until you pull on the Fine Motion banner and see what you would end up getting. So yeah, for the crystal, save it until you pull on the Fine Motion banner, see what you get if you're planning on pulling on that banner. So yeah, for Super Creek it is very simple. If you have both cards back Super Break, then Super Creek is going to be helpful, though keep in mind that not every single CM you would need to get Super Creek on. However, Super Creek is going to be extremely good for champions beating 11, being Hanshin 3200 meters, especially since it's on heavy turf. There are other cards that I want to talk about too, one of them being the Nice Nature Wick card. She is the second best overall Wick card in general, currently on global, and at max break you will be having 15% race bonus, which is extremely good. Her gold skill being on your left gets buffed on the 2nd year anniversary, which is actually going to be good because that means is that you will have that knowledge of, hey, if I use my crystal, even if Nice Nature is not really the best card for wit, if you are a late soldier player, you will know that on your left gets buffed, so that means is that I will be able to get even more value off of this. If not, then that is fine too. Everybody can use this card. It's just late soldiers benefit the most out of this card. This card is going to be extremely good in Make a New Track scenario. It is going to be good in Grand Life scenario, and you will be able to use this card for Grand Masters alongside a different Wick card like Ramio Wit. Then we have Makiyani Tani Fukitaru. So she is overall the second best speed card currently on global. She has flat plus 30 to all stats, and potentially if you win the chain event, all 3 of them, you will get up to 51 to all stats. Those are a lot, and especially if you have borrowed this card multiple times or use her, this card is actually really strong for the early turns, where will help you win a lot more races. She's going to be great in Make a New Track scenario, and she's going to be actually usable in Grand Life and Grand Masters scenario. However, she's not going to be the best card every single time. She also is very good for parenting, because if you have a 6 cards that you do not know what to put it, you could just slap in Maki Yani Fukitaru and get plus 30 to all your stats, which will help you win races for that affinity. She also comes in with 10% race bonus, so yeah, will be good in making you track scenario. Next up, those 2 cards are going to be way later in the future during the make a new track scenario. The first one is Mr. CB Wet card. This card is actually very budget friendly and is extremely good. You can use this card at Limit Break 1, and this card training values are actually very strong too, because she has plus 2 wet bonus over here, she has speed bonus over here, she has very high specialty priority for a wet card. Overall, very strong. These are max Limit Break, by the way. She also gives daring attack, which is an extremely strong skill for end closers. So over here is the chart for Mr. CB. At Limit Break 1, as you can see, she gets the wet bonus, which is of course nice over here. And at max Limit Break, if we compare, you don't really get much off of it. What you will end up getting is like 4% friendship bonus, you get 30 Mure effect, and then like more friendship gauge, and that's pretty much it. You don't really get that much value from Limit Break 1 to max Limit Break. However, again, more copies of a card is always appreciated. Then we have Summer Maruzensky speed card. This card, I have searched it, she actually is included in the 1.5 year anniversary ticket, which is very interesting, because her banner is just like the last banner before the Grand Life scenario, which is extremely nice to know. So if you are pulling on this card, if you are a frontrunner player, you can know that in the 1.5 year anniversary ticket, you can just use this on Maruzensky. However, overall, she is actually a very strong card in general. However, frontrunners benefit the most off of this. She can be used in make a new check scenario. However, keep in mind that she only has 5% race bonus at Limit Break 3 and above. However, in general use, you can use her at 1 Limit Break after making a new track scenario. She gives a lot, and I mean a lot, of frontrunner skills, like frontrunner corners, frontrunner straightaways, leader sprite, groundwork, playtimes over, slipstreams. She has a lot of skills. So overall, here she can work at Limit Break 1. However, I would really recommend going for at least 3 Limit Break on Summer Maruzensky. So if you are going to pull 200 on Summer Maruzensky, let's say you get 2 copies before going to Petty. You put the extra Petty for Summer Maruzensky, then you have 2 Limit Break. And then what you will end up doing is potentially using a crystal and get her to Limit Break 3. So why Limit Break 3 exactly? First things off, you get an extra level on hints, which is actually extremely good, because at level 1 hint over here, what you end up getting is level 2 hints once you get a hint off of Maruzensky. So that means, let's say I get 2 frontrunner corners in a row, okay? I would get in total level 4 hint for frontrunner corners. So that means frontrunner corners is still on the table for me to get hinted on again, which is annoying. However, if you have her at Limit Break 3, the first hint that you will get is level 3 hint for frontrunner corners, and then the next one is going to be level 2 hint for frontrunner corners. You max it in 2 instead of getting it 3 times. So it is a big difference over here. And of course, you do get the max amounts of friendship bonus. You also get more specialty priority compared to Limit Break 1. Overall, it is usable card at Limit Break 1, but my recommendation is Limit Break 3. So if you are pulling on either 2 cards over here, then definitely keep in mind for a chart. So for the gold crystal. The gold crystal, I have gave it a lot more time unironically compared it to the rainbow crystal, and I will say this, you definitely only have one or two choices currently on global that is able to be used the gold crystal on. So Shinko Wendy. Shinko Wendy is actually going to be extremely strong. The reason is that she is the best speed card for making you track if you are looking at it from the SR perspective, because the other cards are 5% race bonus and generally just have weaker training values compared to Shinko Wendy overall. So Shinko Wendy has extremely high stat potential in speed if you get lucky on the training, and she can give you up to 45 SP through chain events. Her first chain event, the bottom option, gives you 30 skill points, and randomly on the second chain you can get extra 15. Trust me, it could clutch up an extra skill, which will be extremely nice, or like an extra circle for a skill. The more skill points is actually going to be nice, even in making you track scenario. And then for Miles specifically, she has 2 skills for those, which is good. Overall, a very strong card, and I definitely will say, if you somehow do not maximum break this card, you definitely want to use the crystal on this card. So the next one is going to be Admire Vega Guts. So Guts training overall in making you track scenario is going to be stronger than usual, which is nice. But what I see it from my perspective, Guts training is really good for inflating your rating, which is good because if you are doing a parent run, you could use a couple of Guts card to guarantee yourself that you will get very high ranking, which is rank SS, so that it helps you get the higher white spark stars chances, which is nice. I made a video about that already. So this card is actually going to be extremely strong in making you track because you get a lot of stats off of this card. You have a stat bonus of speed and power while training Guts, or training speed, or training Guts, or training wet. So 4 of the 5 training facility levels, you get more stats off this card. Very, very good. And she has 15% race bonus. You are balancing between racing and also training in the same time. So overall, this card is going to be a card that I would recommend to use crystals on if you do not get very high amounts of limit break if you are pulling on the Naruto Top Road banner. Lastly is going to be this Sweep Tosho card. This Sweep Tosho card gets released during Make a New Track scenario and is going to be actually a strong budget wig card. She is on par with Ania's Takeon and Marvelous Sunday in terms of weight training, and she has 10% race bonus at max limit break. Her chain events are going to be decent, and then you have a chance to get Charming because Sweep Tosho has an event where you could get Charming off of her, which is going to be very valuable. Overall, this card is very strong alongside Shinko Wendy or sometimes even Admire Vega cards. And that's pretty much it. These are my recommendations. For the gold ones, you want to focus maybe on Shinko Wendy, you want to focus on Admire Vega, you want to focus on Sweep Tosho. For the Rainbow Crystal, it just depends. If you are going to be pulling on Defined Motion banner, then I definitely would tell you to wait on your crystal and see what you get on that banner. If you pulled on the banner and somehow spooked the Kita-san black and you have like limit break 3 on Kita-san, then congratulations, you saved yourself a full crystal and you could use that on something else. And yeah, that's pretty much it. My recommendation, and if you found this video to be helpful, consider subscribing and consider joining the Discord server located in the comment section, and I hope to see you in the next one.